G'day, Shane here from Wine Grape TV, and thank you for joining me at my home bar. But more importantly, thank you for helping me spread McLaren Vale wines to the world. Now, an absolute treat tonight, and a treat in terms of a new supplier or new winery, Dabblebrook. Dabblebrook McLaren Vale Single Vineyard Shiraz from 2011. Never tried the Dabblebrook range before, and thanks to the guys for showing me this wine. Now, I've had this wine for a little while, and I believe the 2011 is just about sold out, but they've just bottled some new wine, including a Grenache, so really looking forward to trying that. Now, you may have noticed, a little bit hard to see I suppose on the camera, but I actually opened this wine last night, and I wanted to try it before video because I didn't know what to expect. Right? So, opened the wine, tried it straight up without any breathing or anything like that, and I must admit I was a little bit concerned. There was a bit of bitterness, the wine seemed a little bit out of balance, maybe a bit of sulfate oxide still coming through, and I was thinking, oh geez, 2011, pretty difficult vintage, maybe this wine's not for me. But I stuck with it, and over a period of about half an hour, the wine really changed, and changed quite dramatically. So that bitterness left, and I really thought the bitterness was coming from high alcohol. It shows 14% on the label, but I really felt that the alcohol was higher than that on the initial instance. Now, after about that half an hour, it all changed quite dramatically. I was certainly getting some nice fruit, cherry end fruit of the spectrum, and the bitterness was not there. Certainly getting a good balance across the flavours, and also in terms of oak balance as well. So that made me think what would happen if we kept it a little bit longer. So I've kept it overnight, and now trying it the next day. Now, I haven't tried it today yet, so I'm going to try this and share it with you. So it's interesting, 2011 was known as a poor vintage, but I tell you what, I'm just starting to see some really, really good and really interesting wines coming through. Sorry, I've got to interrupt, I'm getting some lovely aromas coming off this now. Yeah, so 2011 vintage, and look, I think I'll stick with my guns. 2011, you really should try before you buy. There are some good wines out there, as I've mentioned, but there is also some crap out there that it's not worth the money that you pay for the bottle, again in my humble opinion. Well, in terms of the nose, not getting that alcohol that I mentioned before. In fact, I'm getting a lot of fruit. Interesting, I'm getting almost like a cherry ripe. So what does that mean? Well, cherry ripe to me is cherries, chocolate, and a little bit of coconut. And I'm getting a little bit of that. I'm getting a little bit of cherry initially, and on the back of the nose there I'm getting, or at the end of the aromas, I'm getting a little bit of chocolate and just a little hint of vanilla and coconut, which is normally reminiscent of American oak treatment. Not overpowering, and American oak can be like that, not overpowering, so I reckon there's just been a smidge of American oak in there. Quite well balanced. I'm certainly not getting fruit or oak or anything overpowering anything else. And remembering this wine's been open for about 24 hours. So let's keep going on with the wanky thing. that's really come up well. That really has come up well. I wasn't sure how to go overnight. I actually tried to put the vacuum on it where it sucks out the air, but the vacuum seal didn't work properly, so I couldn't say that it was sealed overnight. But that's come up a treat. There's a bit of cherry, a bit of plum, a little bit of thyme, a little bit of sage, not pepper that you would normally get from Shiraz. Certainly getting that chocolate on the back of the palate, but interestingly enough, I'm not getting the coconut that I was getting on the nose. So we'll give it another whirl, eh? There's a good dryness on the back of the palate. And when I say dryness, it's not like the furry tannin dryness that you get, but it really is dry. The acid's really nice. There's a good complement there. This is definitely a food wine, and I think from the differences I've seen from opening it straight away to half an hour to now 24 hours, this wine could be kept for a while, but I would recommend, based on that experience, that if you were to get this wine now, that it needs a bit of time to breathe before you give it a go. Well, that's that wine you could do just to lots of different meals, I think. I mean, with that balance, as I said, with the acid and the dryness on the back of the palate, you know, it can be anything from barbecues, steaks, sort of any red meat. But I also think it would go well with you know, like if you're looking for a red for Chinese meal and things like that, where you do get you know, like if you have a Chinese banquet and you do get lots of different things in front of you, except maybe seafood, I think this would go well with that too. So I think Ian and your guys have really done well, and this is certainly a label that I'm going to be looking out for, and really intrigued and really keen to see what happens with the Grenache coming through as well. So Dabblebrook, definitely worth checking out. But as for Lona Grape TV, that's all the time we have tonight. Hope you have a great week. I've certainly enjoyed bringing this new winery to me, to you, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye.